Hello students, welcome back once again to CBSE Board Economics. I am Saddam Hussain. Well, economics is the next exam. We're not discussing how was your English paper, how was your business studies and your maths paper. Forget those exams. Now think about the remaining exams which you are going to give it. And your next exam will be economics. I'm talking about commerce stream, economics. Economics is a very scoring subject where you can get full 80 upon 80. But you have to make a strategy. You have to make a proper planning. That's very important. You're left with another 1 week, 7 days for this exam. They've given you, the CBSE was very liberal. They've given you 7 days gap for the exam. According to the New Testament of the Bible, God has created the world in 7 days. Can't you prepare for economics? A few chapters for this board exam? Yes, you can do wonders. So make a strategy. I'll give you some tips, follow in today's video. And in the other videos, I keep on giving you a stream of all the chapters. We'll cover up all the topics so that you can go confidently to the board examination. But mind it one thing, don't believe in what people say. Just listen to these videos, you'll get full 100% marks, 80 upon 80. No, that's absolutely not true. Self-study is very important. These videos will help you. This will be an additional help. Apart from this, your self-study is very important. Put in as much hard work as you can. Maybe 15 hours or 20 hours in a day, that will help you. The first tip I want to share with you is, you are left from today. Today is 12th of March 2025. Next week, on this day, maybe on 19th, you have the eco paper. That means you have this whole 1 week. Count the number of days and see how many chapters you have to complete in each day. Both macroeconomics as well as the Indian economic development. So what I suggest you is, don't go by serial order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Today, on the first day after your English exam, you start taking up those chapters which are much easier. Maybe the budget chapter. There's not much in that. You can finish that chapter in a couple of hours, maybe 3 hours or 4 hours. What do you have in the chapter? Strategy. That's very important. What are the objectives of the budget? Then you have two parts of the budget, capital budget and revenue budget, revenue receipts and revenue expenditure, capital receipts and capital expenditure, and bit of deficits, fiscal deficit, revenue deficit and primary deficit. That's it. Tell me how much time it takes you to finish this chapter. Maybe a couple of hours. That's very important. Finish it. Likewise, the next chapter you have in macroeconomics, the foreign exchange, balance of payments and balance of trade chapter. So just for example, what do you have in that chapter? What exactly is foreign exchange? How is foreign exchange rate determined? And the types of foreign exchange you have. That is, you have fixed foreign exchange rate, flexible or floating foreign exchange rate, and you have the floating, fixed and flexible foreign exchange rate, managed floating. That's it. A bit of merits and demerits of that, and then you have what is balance of trade, BOT, and what is balance of payments and what are their components. That's it. How much time it takes you? Maybe a couple of hours. 2 chapters are over. Like this, you find out in Indian economic development too. So you find out Indian economic development, the easiest chapter, try to finish them today, as many chapters as you can. You know why I'm suggesting you that? So that you'll get lot of confidence. Confidence is very important. Oh, today I finished 10 chapters. Today I finished 12 chapters, 15 chapters. So tomorrow you try to do the next round of chapters like this. So then you take out the last chapters. Don't delay it for a long time, the difficult ones. So why I'm suggesting this, if you start with difficult chapters first. For example, which are the difficult chapters? If you start with national income accounting today, so there is huge concepts of national income accounting, GDP, NDP, NNP, and then you have other concepts, and you have the measurement of national income by product method, income and expenditure method. Then you have the precautions of these methods, and then you have GDP at current prices, GDP at constant prices, nominal and real GDP, their significance. So tell me, it takes a lot of time. Like this, you have one more big chapter in macroeconomics, that is income and employment theory. Huge. We'll be discussing that later. Like this, in Indian economic development too. So if you take up those chapters, maybe you're wasting just to finish one chapter, maybe a day or 2-3 days, then you'll be left with no time. So you'll be confused. That's number one. First tip for you. Number one is finish easy chapters first, maybe in a day or 2 days, maybe 20 chapters. So you are left, you get confidence with only few chapters, maybe 3-4 big chapters, then gradually you finish them off. So that's very important. The second tip is, don't believe if someone says these are important questions, just do them. There is nothing like important question, you know, from the sample paper. Only those students will be able to do well in this exam who got complete knowledge about the subject, not those students who make selective study. Can anyone tell which is more important? Measurement of national income by product method or income or expenditure method? All methods are equally important. So how can anyone guess income method is more important than product method? How can anyone tell you excess demand is more important than deficient demand? No one. Don't believe. How can anyone say BOT is more important than BOP? No one can tell you that. How can anyone say MPC is more important than MPS or APC is more important than APS? No way. So don't believe, don't trust. Important questions. Still you have 1 week. If you have not done it, stop sleeping, work hard. You'll be able to do wonders. Number 2. So the first thing is do easy chapters first and later on the difficult parts. Nothing is difficult as such, but the difficulty I say in terms of the number of hours it takes to finish a chapter. And the third tip. Well, the third tip is don't be scared of the exam. It's going to be a nice paper if you know the subject very well. It's going to be easy. Exam is not difficult. And number 4, these are the simple tips. Then I'll come to the sample paper. I'm keeping it in my hand. Number 4 is try to write as neat as you can. If there is a graph in the question answer, please do write, make the graph beautifully with the help of a pencil, so that in case you make a mistake, erase it and again you can make it, instead of cutting up the whole thing and cutting out and whole thing and writing again, you'll be wasting time in the exam. After every answer, leave 2-3 lines and go to the next answer. Don't immediately write. After every paragraph in the exam, leave 1 line and highlight the important points you are writing in the examination paper. Highlight, in the sense, underline them with a pencil or pen. That's very important, so that the examiner might not be having more time to read each and every word you write. Some students keep writing crap or nonsense, so the examiner will get irritated. So important points which you are writing it, please underline. all the answers should be written in headings and subheadings. Every answer should have heading and subheading. Any answer. For example, if you're writing, how do you measure national income by product method? So first you write intro and then write it. First we find out GVO at MP. Underline it. That's the subheading. Then you write it. We estimate gross value added at market price. GV at MP. Underline it. Then next step, we estimate net value added at market price. Underline. So underline the headings and subheadings and highlight the important points. That's very important. And next very important thing is write all the answers in points and subpoints if possible. Points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why? Because it becomes easier for you as well as for the examiner when he is giving you marks. It becomes easier. Points. Okay? And present neat answer. Every answer start on a new page. If you finish the answer somewhere here, don't start the new answer here. Go to the next page. You write it here. Whenever you make a graph, don't make it here. Make it in the middle of the page. And when you make a graph, like a figure, in economics, it should have all the pointers. What have you taken on the x-axis and what have you taken on the y-axis? All. If it is AD curve, write it AD. If it is AS curve, write it AS. Intersection, there you write point E, equilibrium point. Show all the points. So the more you show to the examiner, the better marks you get. So that's very important. These are some of the tips for the examination. And another tip is, don't leave the examination hall till you finish all 3 hours, till you complete the answer. Read it once, twice, thrice if you have time. Revise the answer sheet so that if there are any mistakes in it, correct them. That's very important before you submit your answer sheet. So I wish you all the best. These are some of the general instructions. Now we go to specific economics instructions for the paper. So this paper, economics for class 12, has 2 parts. The sample paper here, general instructions, you don't have to read in the exam. Today I'll be discussing with you general instructions number 1. This question paper contains 2 sections. Section A, macroeconomics, and section B, Indian economic development. Macroeconomics, and number 2 is Indian economic development. So when you start the examination, start with macroeconomics. It's not because your section A starts with macroeconomics. No, that's not the logic. Why macroeconomics? Macroeconomics will take less time and more understanding, more logic when you present the answer. When you're writing the answers, you get a lot of enthusiasm and you enjoy writing the answers because it has figures, graphs, so you justify your answers with them. Start with macroeconomics. And then you go to section B, Indian economic development. Don't mix up answers of macroeconomics with Indian economic development. What I mean to say is, don't write one answer of macroeconomics, then second Indian economic development, then again macro. Irritates the examiner. Never try to do that. And next, I'll tell you how to go about writing the answers. Number 2, this paper contains 20 multiple choice questions of 1 mark each. Multiple choice, 1 mark. They give you the choice of answers, 3, 4. So you have to choose 1 mark. That's the easiest, very easy way. You don't have to use your brains. Pretty simple. So that's 1 mark of question. You don't have to write anything, just pick up. For example, they given a question like this: which one of the following is a direct tax? Which one of the following is a direct tax? They might be giving you 4 options for you. Number 1, GST. Number 2, income tax. Number 3, excise duties. Number 4, entertainment tax. You don't have to write anything, just write the question number, maybe 4, in the answer sheet for option B, write the answer also, income tax. That's it. Don't write beyond that. You don't have to justify why income tax is a direct tax. That's it. Like this, they can give you which one of the following is a subsidy. A, B, C, D. Choose the right answer. Don't justify your answer. Just write what they have given you. That's it, not beyond that. That is simple. 20 multiple choice questions where you get 20 marks. I don't think you'll take more than 10 minutes to answer these 20 questions. In 10 minutes, you're getting 20 marks. Each question carries 1 mark. Then you have, this paper contains 4 short answer type questions of 3 marks each to be answered in 60 to 80 words. 60 to 80 precisely comes out to be 3, 4 or 5 sentences. Normal handwriting, 3, 4, 5 sentences. It doesn't mean that you have to write it only within the word limit, 60 to 80. You can cross by 5, 10, 15, no problem, even if you cross it, but justify complete answer. Just because you keep on counting the words, they asked you only write in 60 words, keep counting 1, 2, 3, 4 and write half answer. No, don't do that. Write the complete answer. Complete answer, whatever they asked you. To the point, that's what I'm saying. Don't beat the bush. Don't write unnecessary crap. And next one, this paper contains 6 short answer type questions carrying 4 marks each, that is 80 to 100 words. 4 marks doesn't mean you have to write 4 pages. No, 80 to 100, maybe another 2 lines, 3 lines more, 4 lines, 5 lines more. That's it. And for example, if I tell you like 3 mark answer, they can ask you something like, very simple, what is gross value of output at market price? GVO at MP. You're supposed to write it in 60 to 80 words. Very simple. Gross value of output, GVO at MP, is the total money value of all final goods and services produced by a firm in an accounting year. Or you can say, we can find out GVO by multiplying the number of goods and services produced by the firm with the price, with the market price. That is the gross value of output at MP. You can write the formula if you want. GVO at MP is equal to sales plus change in stock. Or you write it, GVO at MP is equal to sales within the domestic territory, sales abroad plus, that is exports, plus value of goods kept for self-consumption plus change in stock. That is closing stock minus opening stock. That's it. Please don't write more than that. Even you don't have to write it. This does not include depreciation, does not include NIT. You don't have to write the whole formula, whole macroeconomics. That's it. Please don't write more than that. That is for 3 marks. And 4 mark, they can ask you same question, net value added at market price. After writing the answer which I told you, then write 1 more or 2 more lines you added by subtracting depreciation or consumption of fixed capital from gross value of output at market price. We get net value added at market price. That is, write the formula. You write it if you want. Depreciation or consumption of fixed capital is the loss of value of fixed asset because of normal wear and tear and expected rate of obsolescence. You write the formula, NVA at MP is equal to GVA at MP minus depreciation or consumption of fixed capital. These are some answers which I am sharing you how to write. And the last one, this paper contains 4 long answer type questions, 6 marks. This is the longest answer you have. And they have to be answered in 100 to 150 words, maybe 10 lines, 1 page, or maybe 1.5 page or 2 pages, 100 to 150 words, not lines. So 6 mark, but surprisingly, they changed the pattern. Earlier, they used to give a 6 marker means a big answer question, but now again, they are splitting the 6 marker question into 2 parts. That means each part carries only 3 marks. So again, you come back to 60 words, 120 words or maybe 70, 140 words, 70. So 150 words you have to complete the answer. So that is how to write this one. So section A, macroeconomics. Section B, Indian economic development. Start with section A, macroeconomics. Then you go to Indian economic development. Start with, okay, how to go about. Now I told you there how to prepare for the exam. In these 6-7 days, now how to write the answer. So that means there are something in macroeconomics. Let's see, you have how many? 17 questions, I suppose. Yes, absolutely, 17 questions you have. And same way in macro, in Indian economic development, you have 34 questions altogether. That's it. This is for 3 hours. If you ask me, 3 hours is more than enough. More, plenty of time, 3 hours. If you don't waste the time in the exam. Don't get confused. Keep cool. How to go about? Okay, the moment you receive the paper, read question. They give you some time. Read the question paper carefully. Don't jump to answer the question. Read it carefully. Think carefully. After that, you start writing. How to go about? Start with macroeconomics, right? Macroeconomics question number 1. How to go about? So I told you there are 1 mark question, 3 mark question, 4 mark and 6 mark question. So the best way is answer the easiest questions which you know very well. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to write in the same serial order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. You can write it as you like. Question number 1. First, I suggest you finish off with 1 marker questions, which is much easier. 1 marker question, you have 20, that means 10 each. 10 questions you have in macroeconomics. Pick them up. 1. Question number 8, question number 14, question number 15, or question number 9. 1 marker question. It won't take. Why I'm telling you, please save time, increase confidence level. So when you are writing the question answers, carefully tick mark in your question paper so that you don't come back again by mistake. Okay, tick mark or circle the answers. Okay, I'm done. I know it. Suppose you don't know one answer. Question number 9, 1 marker question. You're not sure about your answer. Leave it and come back later. Leave space. Maybe 1 or 2 lines. You'll come back later. Okay, that's the first one. Second thing, go to 3 marker question. Try to finish them off. 4 marker and 6 marker means again it is divided into 2 parts. There is nothing like 6 marker question. That's very important. Go in this order. It becomes easier. So after writing the answer, so check it now. Whenever they require, the graphs are not required for every question. Statistics are not required. So only if they're specifically asking, then you make it. For example, where you have to make a graph. Suppose if they ask you, explain consumption function or propensity to consume, then you make a graph. We can explain it with the help of a graph. Or they ask you what is excess or deficient demand, you can explain it with the help of a graph nicely. So make it, otherwise it's not required. Graphs are not required, only for long answer questions you make a graph. That is about macroeconomics. After finishing macroeconomics, 3 hours, so go according to me, you won't take more than 1 hour to finish macroeconomics. It won't take much time because I told you have to write short answers and logically, precisely to the point answers. Macro, you can't write anything useless things. You have to write to the point. You can't write something if they ask you what is balance of trade. So you have to write just balance of trade only. You can't write anything, you can't gossip in it. Balance of trade is the difference between value of the exports of goods and imports of goods. That's it. If you know the answer, you can write it. If you don't know the answer, you can't write something crap, isn't it? So it won't take much time. Finish macro in 1 hour. After that, go to Indian economic development. I know this is something like history, which I never enjoy teaching, but you have to give the exam. What is Indian economic development? This you know it. Agriculture, Britishers' time, 1991 new economic policy, globalization, privatization, all those things, and then you go from there, you have all kinds of other topics you have, so you are prepared very well for these. Same way here also, you pick up one line answer question, multiple one line, that is 1 mark a question, then you go to 3 marks, then you go to 4 marks and 6 mark questions in Indian economic development. In Indian economic development, same way, in case you are stuck, you don't know, some question is there, so which topic is this? But mind it one thing, in Indian economic development, all topics are interlinked. Agriculture is interlinked with industrial chapter, industry is linked with all the chapters, and then you have, during the British period, everything is interlinked there, all the chapters. So in case, this is the last resort, in case something you are not able to make out, which chapter is this? Macro you can't guess and write, but Indian economic development, all topics are related to the Indian economy, something to do with agriculture, something to do with industries, something to do with education in India, something to do with planning, something to do with strategy and all. So you can write, create some answer and write, it will be a right answer. All answers are right answers in Indian economic development. That's very important. I'm not telling you guess and write something. If you know the answer, precisely write that answer. If you know the answer precisely, what is globalization, you can't write anything else, you have to write that same answer. What is green revolution, how it affected agriculture, you have to write it. Why green revolution failed, 2-3 reasons, you have to write that. You can't gossip. But other topics are there, which is, so the moral of the story is never leave any question unanswered in macro or Indian economic development. Never ever leave any question, whether it's 1 mark or 3 mark or 4 mark, you have to attempt all the 36 or 34 questions, all the questions. So in case you don't get it, leave it blank, some space, come back later and do it. One more thing I wanted to talk about this paper is there are some questions. Earlier, they never used to do this kind of strategy. Now, see, look at this one. Read the following text carefully. Can you believe? This is much bigger than the answer which you will be writing. This is a kind of big story. That's what I'm telling you. Never attempt this kind of questions in the beginning itself. You'll be wasting your time. This you keep it at the end. What this is something story about NSSO, all these things. 99% of the answers are written in this story itself. It's not a story actually. It is something, statistics or data they give you. Or they give you the data comparing China, India and Pakistan. Maybe their agriculture year-wise, maybe their industries, maybe their exports and imports of these countries. So these you read it and you will find the answers itself. These type of questions, leave it at the end of the paper. When you are through with all the answers, when you are sure that 90% of the paper has been done, where you are getting 90% of the answers, 90 marks or maybe 70 marks you are getting it. For the other 10 marks are left out for this type of questions, read carefully, find out the answers in the passage itself, or with your amount of knowledge which you gain throughout the year, you present your ideology. That's very important. So it's not difficult. So one more very important thing is you should be extra careful in the exam. Number one, don't waste your time, even 1 second. If you waste it, that means you're losing marks. Strategy. So carefully tick mark, circle the questions, see whether you have written all the questions or not. At the end, check them once again, revise your answers and submit it. Your answer should be beautifully presented. The more beautifully you present, the better marks you get. That's very important. Don't worry about your handwriting or so I can't make good graphs. No. If your handwriting is dirty, Leave much space in between answers. Leave much space in between every paragraph. Leave much space in between words. Leave much space. You're not going to object it. If you're finishing an answer here, leave it. Go to the next page. Don't jumble up all the answers in one page. Much space, better answers, better presentation. That's very important. So from now onwards, today I will be presenting, I will be putting as many videos as you can in the whole chapter. Like there are so many other videos on the net you have on YouTube, mostly in Hindi. These teachers are claiming 7-8 days are left for the exam, so we will assure you 80 marks. We'll assure you 80 marks. Just watch our videos. You believe it? Did I say that? By watching a video, will you get 80 marks? No. Don't watch. Watch it. That's very important. But don't just have trust. If I watch this video, I'll get 90 marks, 100, 80 marks. No, impossible. The more the hard work you put in, the more self-study you do, the better marks you get. The more understanding of the subject you have, the better marks you get it. Revise all the things you have done throughout the year. Each and every bit of paper, each and every line you studied in the classroom or maybe in the coaching centers, maybe with your teachers or tutors, that's very important. But don't trust anyone giving you, oh, these are the important questions, this is the board paper. No, that is all absolutely crap, nonsense. Don't trust it. Trust yourself or trust in God. God will help those who help themselves. That's very important. So watch my videos, but I'm not saying by watching my videos you get 80 marks. What if you never studied? But definitely they will help you whenever you have free time. Don't just watch these videos and leave all 1 year preparation. No, first that is very important. What you studied throughout the year is more important than watching a video. It's like if you watch Shah Rukh Khan's movie, can you become Shah Rukh Khan by watching anyone's movie? No, impossible. Impossible. You can't become an actor, you can't become Shah Rukh Khan by just watching his movie. You can't become. So same way, by just watching videos, you might get a knowledge, an idea how to write the answers. You might get it, but that's not the end all solution. So I wish you all the best. Don't waste your time. Time is very precious. Not money for you, very, very, very precious. More precious than money for you. Don't waste your time. Sit at home and work as much as you can. Maybe 20 hours you study. What's there? Once the board exams are, you're absolutely free. You do whatever you like it. Your parents also won't mind. Once the exams are over. So please, my advice to you is work as much as you can. Work hard. That's it. All the best for the examination. From today, I will be putting as many videos, shorts and videos as possible. Watch them whenever you have time. I won't force you to watch just my videos. I'm not promising the sun, the moon, the star. I'm not promising you'll get 80 upon 80. No, absolutely not. But they will help you out. It's a kind of guidance. It's a kind of guidelines for you. It's a kind of another help apart from your teachers, books, and whatever you have done. That's all, guys. We have time for today video. Watch it, like it, subscribe it, and do comment. If you comment, if you give comments or whatever you want, just write it down in the comment box. So I want this video, I have, you watch all my other videos, you have lot many topics over a period of time, you watch them. And still, if you still didn't get some topic, please a comment, request for it. I'll try to help you out. Absolutely free, nothing. If you're getting 80 or full marks in economics, my pleasure. I enjoy. My student has done well, no problem, absolutely. So that's it. best of luck for your economics exam. Do watch. And in case of numericals, I forgot to tell you, so do vertically, write the step by step, one by one. Don't write it horizontally. GV or NV at MP is equal to 1 plus 3 minus 4 minus 6. No, that's very confusing. You'll end up into trouble. So the best way is you write it in vertical form. I'll give an example. Suppose they asked you to find out net value added at factor cost, NV at FC, and they're given you GVO, or you're finding it out. So how to go about? I'll give you one here in this video. Sales, write it rupees and crores, then you write sales, then you write below plus change in stock. Then put the arrow below, then you get gross value of output at market price. Then minus intermediate consumption, put the arrow below, then you get gross value added at market price. Keep putting the values here. Then minus depreciation, net value added at market price. Then vertically minus NIT, net value at factor cost. Put it in the box, both the sides, write it rupees in crores. This way you will get better marks and you will never get confused. That's all, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Peace.